Miss A got a lot to say on all the things we go through within the day. Politics, dating, recipes, traveling, and yep, of course, I'm the karaoke queen. I take no L's, I'm always booking flights. This is my lovely lunatic Leo life. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? This is my lovely lunatic Leo life. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? The one and only S.A. Welcome to another episode of my lovely Lunatic Leo Life podcast. Thank y'all for rocking with me so far this long. It's been a great season so far, and we still got more to go. We have many great guests coming, guests that have been here, and I have another special guest, LaurenLeBeaux. Woo! I call her the Diva of Newark, but you know, everyone else has the other names for you. What are the names do you go by? And don't be shy. Don't be shy, girl.
Yes. So I've had many past lives, as you said. It's been, in a word, Fab, the Glambassador of Newark.
Yes.
I am the Table.
Oh, wow.
Now it's LaurenLeBeaux, a.k.a. Sacred Goddess, a.k.a. Cash Princess, a.k.a. Earth Mother Extra.
Ooh, I love it. When's your birthday?
It is May 25th. I'm a Gemini.
A Gemini? Okay.
Yes.
I get along with Geminis.
I love Geminis too, but I have a lot of Taurus planets.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
I tend to read Taurus more than anything these days.
It's funny because I'm a Leo sun, Cancer. Okay, I forget the rising, ascending. No, I think my Virgo is rising.
Okay.
I'm a Gemini ascending.
Okay.
And so I'm like Gemini, Leo, Cancer, Virgo. And I'm a cusp. I'm a Leo, Cancer cusp. I'm the first day Leo season.
Okay, so that's interesting because I am Leo rising.
Wow.
So I really relate to Leos. And I am right there on the Taurus Gemini cusp. So that's another
right
reason
there.
why I read a lot of Taurus.
Okay, that makes sense because I'm always reading in Leo. For some reason I don't want to read Gemini. I always read Leo, Cancer, and Virgo because I'm like I already got enough to deal with. That was like Gemini, but one of the we'll get into this, but.
But it's the full moon too.
Yes.
Tonight, which I was like, I wonder if she chose tonight for a reason.
No, I didn't, but everything has been lining up for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I do record on Tuesdays, so that's why it's this night, but everything is aligning. You're here for a reason.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the reason why I wanted you to come on my show, were you on Streets 96? You were on another radio station that I met you. That's when that's another lifetime ago.
Yes.
So that's where I met you, but I've always seen you around, always doing amazing things in Newark and in the newspaper or online, you know what I mean? So recently I saw that you are on a spiritual journey.
Yes.
And I was like, I need to talk to her. So there was the Halsey Street Festival.
Yes.
And I'm just minding my business. And I don't see you outside like that. You know, we're in like different circles, so I don't see you. So it was so amazing that I saw you that day. And I was like, I want her on my show. Mm-hmm. Because of the spirit you had wrote. It was something on Facebook you posted. I was like, oh, wow. Because I was just starting to get into my spiritual journey too. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely going to talk about that and how we both got into it. But I'm feeling amazing. Yes. And that's why it feels so good. And I want to share it with people. I want to spread the word to people. And this is why I'm getting all types of guests on my show. There's this woman named Queen Mother Amaku. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know her?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to an event at a park in East Orange. It was for a back to school event that Daraja of Love was doing. Daraja Love, episode 5, season 2. So I went there to record, to do some content for them, and she was doing yoga in the park. So I did yoga for my first time. I'd never done yoga before, and it was at the park, and it was amazing. And then after we finished, I started speaking to her. I was like, yo, you remind me of me. She's like, you remind me of my younger self. So I was like, come on my show. So she was the first guest on this season to come in. And she was so amazing. I call her once in a while, like, yo, we have to link up again. We have to talk, you know. I even had some oracle cards that I brought with me when she came on. It was the African Goddess oracle cards.
Wait a minute. Abiola Abrams?
Yes.
Do you know that is my favorite deck?
I love it.
I love that deck. There is something about that deck. First of all, it will read you down.
Yes, girl.
Those goddesses do not play. And I love the fact that I love using those cards so much because it's hidden knowledge.
Yeah.
These are goddesses that have been forgotten for so long, and they have not been talked about. And so I love the fact that it's coming back out and we are establishing relationships with them again.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It feels so good.
And I'm so glad I had bought, I don't even know why I brought it with me to the show. I know she was into Oracle and Tarot decks, but I was like, let me just bring this one, only that one. And she never did. So she bought it after she saw it. She felt it, everything, and she felt the power of the cards. Abiola
is amazing, by the way, and she's not far. She's right in Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a beautiful person.
Oh my God, those cards are great.
She comes on shows and stuff, so she might be willing to come on.
I would love if she would come on my show. Yeah. And it's amazing because I've always been into tarot and psychics and all of that, but after my spiritual journey, which again, we're going to talk about that, but we wanted to talk about you, so I'm going to speed it up. After my spiritual journey is when I got called to listening to more tarot cards, but from YouTube. Now, this is all general. Girl, do you know I was obsessed? No, I'm obsessed. Like, from when I wake up, literally, open my eyes to when I go to sleep. Yeah. And at work, I just listen to it on my headphones. I was like, Adrienne, you have to. I did it for like 2 weeks straight. Yeah. I mean, but even before that and after that, I still was listening to it all day. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, right. Like, and I'm like, I feel like they're talking to me. So we're going to get into that. But I just want to talk about what brought you to your spiritual journey, because you were a lawyer first, right? Yes.
Well, I was actually a lawyer. I retired from the law about 5 years ago. I became a lawyer really out of just kind of like not knowing what I wanted to do. I went to law school because my father's a lawyer. Okay. And I graduated from Spelman in 2001. Shout out to Spelman. Hey. And I just kind of was like, I thought I wanted to be a writer. But you know, when I graduated, I just was like, there wasn't a lot of money in just being like, hi, I'm a writer. And I knew I needed to kind of pay the bills, or at least that's what I kind of was socialized to think, like, all right, graduate. I was on that very much like middle class Black track. Okay, graduate from college, you get a job, you buy the house, you find a partner. Right. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is the check. So I was like, I have my college degree, now I have to find a good job. And the whole, like, what I felt I was good at, like, I had this English degree, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to find a job that's really going to support me. Right. So I was like, all right, I need to go to law school so I can at least have something on my resume that looks good. So everything kind of just like aligned after that. I ended up going to law school. I got it. I passed the test easily because I'm a good test taker. Passed the test, got in, got a scholarship. Next thing you know, I was working at a firm.
Damn.
And I woke up, it was kind of like that. I woke up and I'm like, wait a minute, is this what I really wanted? You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, how did I get here? Did I stop to think at any point over the last 3 years, is this what you want? Because you kind of get into law school and it's a lot of indoctrination. It's a lot of, especially if you do well. Which really is it's really just about being able to read and write well. If you're a good reader and a good writer and a good test taker, you'll do well. So all of a sudden, because I did well, I was on the firm track. And I'm not a corporate person, you know what I mean? But I was all of a sudden in this very white, very corporate environment.
Male dominated?
Oh, very male. And I'm just like suffering, feeling like sad, waking up. Then I was like, what am I going to do? So I was like, all right, I have to find an outlet, creative outlet. So I started a fashion blog because I was like, I love fashion.
Fashion blog, look at her, y'all. Oh my God, I can't stop sweating her kimono. And her nails too. Like, her whole outfit is fly, okay?
Shout out to Marco Hall, downtown Newark. Shout out if you don't know him, celebrity fashion designer. But I started a fashion blog, so that was beautiful. But the problem with that was You know, I got to go to Fashion Week. I got to go out and be amongst the people and go out and, you know, hang out in New York City. But I was going out Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. And I was in my 20s. So I would be out from like 6 o'clock to like 1 a.m., wake up, roll into work at whatever time, just like toxic, you know, like ended up getting fired from my job, which was a huge wake-up call. Like,
was it because, why did, if you don't mind me asking?
I literally stopped working. Like don't get me wrong. I had the job for like 4 years.
Okay.
Like I did it for that long, but I was so unhappy. I was that I literally, like, I was supposed to be doing this big brief on this case that I was on, and this whole time that I was supposed to be working on it, I just wasn't working on it.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah. And so when it was finally due, and they were like, yeah, where's that brief? I was like, yeah, I don't have it. So next thing you know, I was getting calls into the office, and they were like, yeah, it's time for you to go. Now, mind you, I was not doing any more or any less than any of those other folks in the office. And of course, they would have gotten a little bit more grace, but that's besides the point.
We already know.
It was time for me to go. That being released, just speaking of the full moon, being released from a job is the biggest blessing that you could ever have.
Girl.
Because honestly, like, that is the shift. The universe was like, girl, you should have left this job. You're not even supposed to be here. Like, why are you here? Like, that was not for me. So once I left that job, you know, my father's a lawyer, thank God. So luckily he was able to be like, girl, come on over here. You can find your way, you know, figure out what you're doing. So I was able to, like, kind of find my way under his tutelage and guidance. And, of course, get a nice little check from the government. You know, unemployment is lovely and stuff. So I've had, like, a winding road. From there, I started, you know, thank God I was doing my fashion blog, because that way I was able to, like, have, you know, kind of, like, a experience with writing. Yeah. So I was able to be like, hey, Newark, I started to fall in love with Newark because I started to get tired of going back and forth to New York City. Yeah. And I was like, I want to hang out in my backyard. Your own city. I'm a Jersey girl, you know? So I was like, Newark, I would love to, like, write about the city for you guys, because, you know, I love Newark. So I started to pitch myself as, like, this Glambassador of Newark. And they bought it. Wow. So, yeah, that's kind of how, like, the Glambassador thing started. I started to, like, write about restaurants and, you know, what to do, you know, after dark. Because, you know, this was going back about 5 or 10 years ago in Newark. There wasn't, like, the nightlife.
Yeah, there was not much
now. So it was like, okay, where to find this kind of food, where to get coffee, where to, you know, because a lot of people coming to Newark, especially students, they were just, like, afraid. You know,
yeah,
like,
we had a bad rep, Newark.
So my kind of career in life has just kind of been, like, a lot of failure, and then just, like, failing forward. You know what I mean? I like
that, failing forward. That's nice.
Yeah, so that's it. That's kind of, and I'm kind of, like, in that space now where it's like, okay, it's time to shift. So I think your question was, how did I get to spirituality? So COVID really, really was actually a major turning point for me. Just that time of isolation was major. My mother passed, actually, in 2018.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. At the end, it was Christmas, 2018, actually. And the holidays were always my favorite time of year. And so having that happen at Christmas was just like, you know. And then 2020, just being like, okay, so this major thing happened. I never really stopped to grieve, which is another thing that I think a lot of people, especially Black women, rather than giving ourselves time to rest, stop, check in with our feelings. What are we really feeling? I immediately went to my father, went to my sister, went to my niece, and just tried to fix
everyone else but yourself.
Yes, I tried to step into the role of both my mother You know, what my mother would be doing, she would be cooking, she would be fixing, she would be, you know what I mean? And then finally, that 2020 period of time of isolation, working from home, I was like, wow, I got to check in with myself. I'm really not okay. I haven't really cried enough about this. I haven't really mourned the fact that my mother's not here.
Wow.
So I got a chance to really do that, and I really was like, I need some really intensive therapy. And luckily my therapist is a spiritualist.
Oh, good. Oh.
Yes. So
did it take Medicaid? No.
Okay. Right. So the thing is, I invested in myself.
Yeah.
She is not inexpensive, but what I did was I was like, you know what? Rather than putting this money into, I don't know what I was going to do with it anyway, like buying food or, you know what I mean? I'm going to invest in myself. So I was like, I'm going to have this weekly therapy session where she's going to tell me what it is that I need to do to make my life better. And that has been the difference.
Wow.
And she really told me all the things. She started me on the path. It started with, because she could tell I was just all over the place. And I was not grounded at all. Because really my mom was in a lot of ways my foundation, which is that's a lot for all of us. You know, so when that disappears, you have to find your own, you know? So it started with a meditation course. So I did that. Then I did a scent priestess training, which is a year long, where you learn all about essential oils and how to anoint yourself.
Oh,
and
wow.
chakras and how they related to the divine feminine and all that. Because, you know, I was learning about the divine feminine, but I was kind of learning about the divine feminine in a more toxic way, shall we say, because the YouTubers that I was following and learning about the divine feminine, they were teaching me and I was learning a lot, but this was prior to COVID in my spiritual journey. What I was learning was almost like I had to go all the way to the right, almost to man-hating.
Right, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you're trying to say.
In order to come back to the middle.
Damn.
To the healthy balance of divine feminine and divine masculine, which we haven't.
With both of us. We got it both within.
Right. So my whole thing was because first of all, I didn't even know that there was a divine feminine. Let's talk about that.
Girl, me neither. I just realized this. And even now I'm still learning. So I'm like, so that means not everybody's a divine feminine? I know I am, which is crazy. What makes me think I'm a divine feminine? But this is my spiritual journey I've been on. So not everybody is a divine feminine, and I'm learning that.
No. And that's the thing. My whole thing was, growing up in church, everything is he, his, son of God. How about I didn't even know that there was a feminine God? So when I first learned that, I was mad. I was mad as hell. I was like, how come this is not taught? How come I had to find out this information, and why is this not just known to our little girls?
Right.
And so it was that's where really I Am the Table sprang from. Because I was you know, when I went on Wendy.
I remember.
You know, that's what I was on. I was on of course men should pay for me. Look at this world.
Right.
Why are women not told that we are divine? Why is it all about what men and the patriarchy? Of course, if I am gracing you with my presence, you should pay for me. And it's not that I don't think my views were wrong. I just think that I had to go all the way I just think I was too far to the right. I think now my spiritual journey has brought me more to the center because, like you said, we all have both feminine and masculine principles in us, and we have to have that balance in order to be balanced within us. So do I still believe that women are the table? I absolutely do. Do I still believe I am the table? Yes, you have to believe you are the table. But do I think that you have to believe in the divine masculine as well? Of course. And there are plenty of masculine and you know, people out there that are in their divinity. Yeah. You know. So the Scent Priestess training, and then now I am in an energy healing training, which is just amazing. Wow. It's like a healing hands, shamanic-based training in Santa Cruz, California, where I go up 3 times a year. It's a 3-year training, and it's based on the indigenous shamanic practices taught by a Native American woman. And I'm super excited to kind of like you said, like once you start to learn about and start to heal yourself, and it's a never-ending process, of course, you just want to really share it with the world. So that's what I want to do.
I love it. And how was meditation classes for you? Because I feel like my mind is always all over, but I always keep my thoughts in my head. So I thought I was meditating, but I'm always looking up different ways and like breathe deep. I'm like, I don't want to breathe deep. I just want to just close my eyes and just be. Is that like possible?
Well, there's different ways to meditate. Yeah. So your problem with meditation is you just don't want to like sit there with your thoughts.
No, I do that all the time, but I always felt like I got to cross my legs and I have to take deep breaths and hold it in for 5 seconds and let it out after 5 seconds and back and forth. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm too lazy to breathe or hold my breath or what. I just want to breathe regular and just close my eyes and try to, I don't even know what I'm supposed to think. They say let things just come to you and just let it go. Or try to think, girl, I'm so confused. I don't even know if I'm meditating the right way.
I understand what you're saying. And that's the thing, there's no right way. That's the thing. I think so many people get caught up, or there's so many teachers out there that are like, this is the way. Yeah. No, there's no right way. Like my meditation course, what I loved about it is that we learned like walking meditation, which I didn't know. There was like, I was like, oh, they were like, okay, so what you do is for like, you put like 10 or 20 minutes on the clock, and then you find a path and you just walk back and forth for that time.
That's it.
And that's meditation.
So what are you doing with your thought? Like, I thought you're not...
You can set an intention
for
that time to ask a question. Like maybe you're pondering something.
Interesting.
And you can set an intention. Like, have you seen labyrinths? Those are walking meditations. I love those. Okay, so like a labyrinth is one of those things where it's a path and it goes like this, where you walk and...
Oh, and it gets smaller and smaller.
By the time you get in the middle, and then you walk back out. So by the time you get in the middle,
you get to...
You might hear an answer. Or by the time you get to the end. So you're kind of like pondering. But it gives you something to do. It gives your body something to do so that your mind is not so...
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when we're just sitting, it gives... Your body gets restless. Especially if you might be more energetic because you like to dance, I see. So sometimes that's why I really like walking meditations, or when I do meditations with kids, I really like, there's something called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 meditation, where you use all your senses. So you start with, so by senses, it's like, I always get this wrong, smelling, hearing, seeing, touching, tasting.
Yes.
So you start with 5 things that you can see. So you look around and you say, okay, I see the flower, I see the mic, I see the table, I see you and your beautiful lipstick, and I see the wallpaper. Then you do 4 things that you can hear. So what can you hear?
Buzzing, cars passing by, me talking, your beautiful kimono when you move your hand.
That's 4. Then you do 3 things that you can, which one is this one? This is 3 things that you can touch or feel.
Okay.
So
you just...
It can also be your shirt against your skin.
Oh, okay.
Or the chair that you're sitting on. That's 3. Now you're doing 2 things that you can smell.
Perfume.
And 1 more.
And food somewhere.
And the last thing is 1 thing that you can taste.
My lip gloss.
That's meditation. Why? Because it has gotten you back into your body. Did you notice you're not thinking about anything outside of what you're sensing?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you become more present. That's really what meditation is. All of a sudden you become more present. You're not all over the place thinking about my to-do list, what it is that my mother said to me 5 years ago, why. That's all meditation is, just a way to get in your body, get in here right now.
Because I do meditate here or there, but I want to do it, make it a daily practice.
Yeah.
And I notice when I take shrooms, that helps me. Yes, girl. When I take shrooms, I used to take it, for fun. Me and my ex-boyfriend, we would take shrooms, we would drink, we would smoke. But even when I first started, this is before I went through my journey, I felt something I felt like I was getting connected to something. You know what I mean? Like I felt kind of spiritual. I can't explain why I felt that way, but it was like I had a knowing of some stuff.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't believe in myself that I was knowing whatever was coming to my mind. Like,
oh, that happens.
You know what I mean?
Right? You're just like, no, that can't be it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was me before my spiritual journey. But then once I finally started my spiritual journey, now I don't drink when I do shrooms. I sit in the dark at home and I just sit there on the couch and I just talk to my ancestors. I feel like all the messages are coming from my ancestors. I even feel, it's to the point where I feel like people are breathing by me. Like I'm surrounded by many of my people. And when I first noticed that is when I took shrooms. I like to be home, but my friend was coming to bring me something. So I had to go downstairs, and I live in a 20-story building. So I had to go downstairs and we spoke a little bit. I felt weird being outside, like exposed. But when I went back in the elevator, I was in the elevator alone. But I felt surrounded. Like I felt like I was in a packed elevator to the point where I just looked, even though I knew I was alone, maybe I didn't see someone get in the elevator with me. And so I was like, wow, and I automatically knew that was my people. Because I'm laughing. I'm like, y'all not going to let me go downstairs by myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first time I felt them with me. And so when I take the shrooms now, it's like I feel them moving past me and surrounding me and everything. Even like feeling like they're embracing me. You know what I mean? And I feel that because there's times when I need that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's amazing that, and that's why I want to start meditating more, because I want to get to my higher self, higher than where I'm at now, because I'm still torn between the humanity and my spirituality side, you know what I mean? And even how I got to this point. It all started this year. And well, I guess technically last year, because I got the gastric sleeve September 27 last year.
Wow.
I was 295 pounds.
What?
Girl, I don't even looking at my pictures from back then, but no, some people wouldn't know because I was confident. I would wear bikinis and wear outfits, even though I hated my stomach. That was my problem there. But I would just wear what I wanted to be and be free.
And you also don't look like you have any it doesn't look like you have extra skin or anything.
No, luckily.
You look like you just snapped. Wow.
I mean, I got a little bit of skin, but my chubbiness I had was thick already, even when I was big. It was not flabby. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm glad. I'm not even going to complain.
Wow, you look amazing.
Thank you. And I feel it. And even though people always thought I was confident, I had some confidence, but I wasn't happy with myself. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's not fully confident.
Right.
So once I shed the weight, and at the time, September came, I broke up with my ex because I was elevating and he was not liking it. He was like, I don't like this new bitch you're becoming. I'm like, okay, goodbye.
So you're not wanting to go with me on this journey.
You're not. And I was fine with it because I was already feeling over him anyway. Yeah. So that was September. Then I was spending a lot of time to myself recovering from surgery. Then in December, I caught COVID. I was in the hospital for 5 days with COVID because I wasn't taking my vitamins. Girl. And the funny thing is, I was like, when COVID first came out, I didn't believe in it. You know, I traveled to Ghana, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico in 2020. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was stopping me. You know?
I was in the house, girl. I was in the house.
But the funny thing is, I enjoyed staying in the house when we couldn't go anywhere. I was loving it, but I was like, I need to go on vacation. I'm a vacation freak. I had to get away. So during the time after I had COVID pneumonia, then in January I had pneumonia. So I was out basically from September to January and just keeping to myself. You know, I talked to my friends here and there, but I was keeping to myself. The group that I was introduced to, they were only doing Wachuma at the time, but every time we were going to go do it, or I wanted to, whenever they had a ceremony, I wasn't able to go. Okay. So nothing was aligning. You know what I'm saying? So boom, following this year now, they hit me up. They're like, we actually have ayahuasca. Are you ready? I was like, I'm ready. I'm so ready. This is in March. And I was like, okay, my schedule aligns perfectly. Like, we can do this. But when I get there, we were on sacred land in Pennsylvania. And when I get there, they tell me it wasn't ayahuasca, it was yahe. And now yahe is similar to ayahuasca, but it's an older version of ayahuasca. And it actually worked out because they say it's better to do yahe before you do ayahuasca.
Okay.
So when I did yahe, we had no reception, so I couldn't even look up what yahe is. So I'm asking everyone there, but I trusted them, so I knew I was in good hands. It was about 12 of us. And we all, at night, we went around 10 o'clock. We go downstairs to the living room. We had our comforters, our pillows, whatever, because we're going to camp out in the living room to do this ceremony. And yahe is bitter, just like the ayahuasca. It's a tea or a brew, and thick. Ugh. Even just talking about it makes me feel gross, but it's something, but we do it ceremoniously. Okay. Everybody goes to the altar one at a time, and then the medicine man, he administers the medicine. But, you know, we have the music, we have people that were facilitating. They were trained so that way if somebody like me, I'm a newbie, was having my experience, they'll come and cleanse me and sing and, you know, pray over me. So I believe now we had it for the weekend, so we did it Friday and Saturday night.
Wow.
And each time you could go up as many times as you want to take more after you come back, you know? So I went first, and since I had my surgery, everything hits me quicker than everybody else too. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people took 45 minutes, it hit me in like 20 minutes. You know, so I'm having my experiences. The first night, it was more like an awakening. Like, when people say, girl, you are so bomb, and I'm like, well, you know, I got to work on this. They're like, no, you are the shit. You have to acknowledge who you are. We gave you this gift so you can share it with the world. Yes. Receive who you are. Yes. So it was showing me things that me and my mother, we've had issues, you know, so it was showing me that I have a stronger spirit than her, and she's going to see my light. So I have to try not to let her dim it and make me get out of character with her, and then we're fighting. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing it showed me. And then also, I've talked with my people before. I had an abortion in 2016, and I never really recovered. I regretted it, and I went through a bad time after that. You know, the first 2 weeks after the abortion, I was happy. I'm like, thank God I did it. And after that, I just went like downhill, depressed for like 2 years. Yeah. So that night, I actually felt the spirit of the baby forgive me. It was overwhelming. Like, I was crying, I was loud, and then mind you, it's like other people in the room with me. Sure. But I just couldn't control myself. So that was just only the first night. So I was like, they're like, the next night is going to be a stronger brew. I'm like, how are you going to top this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a whole experience last night. Wow. Girl, the second night, I think is when I had my Kundalini awakening, because I literally was laying there. It took a little bit longer this time. But when I started to feel it, I laid down. And then while I'm laying down, all of a sudden I'm taking like deep breaths. But it wasn't like me taking the deep breaths. You know, at first, it took me a while to realize. I thought it was like maybe me waking up an ancestor inside me. But no, now I'm breathing so deep where I'm like, my whole body's moving and I can't control it. I started like twitching and it's crazy. All these things, and I felt something wake up inside me. I didn't know at the time it was my spirit. I just thought it was like an ancestor. I knew it was something weird, but I didn't know what was happening. Yeah. Then I'm chanting my podcast name, MyLovelyLunaticLeoLife, because we had set intentions before to find out what's going to happen or what we want to happen. So as I'm chanting it over and over in my head, like, I'm seeing a figure like it's like she was blowing life into my name, you know? And mind you, we're all in the dark. So all the lights are off. We covered all the windows, everything. So it's like I'm seeing things without my glasses, and I'm feeling things, you know? So that lasted a long time, you know, when I felt that. But once I felt that, I felt renewed. You know what I'm saying? I felt better than what I was feeling. I was like, I would have never been able to accept this last year. That's why I couldn't do it last year. You know, I wasn't ready to receive this messages that I'm getting now. Yeah. You know, and there was certain other things I was seeing, like someone I thought was my twin flame, but that's a whole nother story. I think it's my soulmate, but not twin flame. Yeah. And so it was like a whole vision with that person. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? But I embraced everything. I wasn't scared. You know, I took it in. So fast forward, I was in March of 2022. Fast forward now to August 2022 when I had my ayahuasca retreat. And it was like, it's levels to that, because even my ayahuasca Girl, that was something completely, I don't think I would have been ready for that at all, ever. Like somebody, a regular person who would have might have went to a loony bin after what I saw, you know. And my second night, the first night I'm not even gonna get to, but my second night is when I visited other dimensions. I wasn't here. And I felt like these are dimensions that I've belonged to in the past.
Yeah.
And it was not humans, it was creatures. I was literally hearing sounds of creatures, and I was too scared to even look. But at some point, I couldn't even move my body. Only when Grandmother Ayahuasca allowed me to, like, she would like sit me up. But felt like my whole body was limp, or that I couldn't move. Even when I tried to close my eyes because it was too much, I saw through my closed eyes. Like, you're not closing your eyes. You're going to see what I'm showing you, you know? And I felt kind of like the daughter of the universe, only because I was able to go to different planes when I was ready to leave. There was 2 different places I went to where it was like barren and it was like nothing there. I'm like, oh, this place is beneath me. Let me go to the next spot. You know what I'm saying? One place I went to where I cried actually because I was sad to leave. But I was like, I have my brother, my mother and father back on earth. I need to go back to them. But I was sad to leave where I was. So I felt like that was one of my homes I've been to. Sure. You know what I mean? So just that alone, it just got me into it. But the reason why I brought up the Yahe is that's when I started getting into tarot reading. Because it was telling me that we can speak to you through your tarot reading and Yahe, right? So I was going into and I started listening to I had like 15 different tarot readers that I had saved, okay? So now when I was starting to doubt that happening after some time, because here I am going back to my human side. Like I'm trying to stay spiritual, but shit's happening to me and I'm just like losing faith again, you know?
That happens.
And I feel bad that happens, like, because I know it shouldn't, but it's just the human side.
So, can I?
Yes,
help?
please.
Okay, so one of the things that I'm learning in this retreat that I'm going to, the energy healing, which, by the way, the ayahuasca retreat that you're doing, thank you for inviting me, by the way.
Yes.
One of the things that I want to do when I'm done with my, I want to wait until I'm done with my 3 years.
Oh, got you.
Because one of the things that we're learning is about our container. So what we're building is a strong container, because like, okay, so you know how, so let me start from kind of the beginning and I won't talk too long. So like when we're in the womb, actually, to age 12 is literally when every single thing is imprinted upon us. And after that, we're pretty much done. Like nothing else that happens or that can happen really can imprint. And so the things that happen cause wounds, even in the womb. And those wounds cause us to act the way we act today.
That's crazy.
Right? So when we have a wound that happens, the defensive ego causes us to act out in whatever way that we act out as humans, right? So energy healers are able to, or even us, like humans, our highest self, so that a highest self that you want to access rather than reverting back to defensive ego that surrounds that wound. So for instance, my wound, one of them is like, I want everyone to like me. Because my sister, I really wanted her love as a child because I felt like she didn't like me. So what do? I people please. That's what I always go back to people pleasing. So that's like my defensive ego, people pleasing, right? So when I see, so that's like my defensive ego, that's my wound. My higher self is my witnesser who can see, you're people pleasing. So it's not the people pleaser. That's the wound.
Yeah.
That's the defensive ego.
Got it.
So that's the one that's going to be like, when someone asks me to do something and I really want to say no, but I say yes. And I say yes and I resent them.
Yeah.
The witness, the higher self, is the one that says, oh, you said yes, you resent them, you'll do better next time. It's not saying you should have, like, why would you do that? It's not shaming your wound. It's just say, okay, we notice we're still in the wound, you know, okay, let's try again next time. Or even just to witness it is a lot of times a step forward than just acting out of your wound.
Right.
Anger is acting out of your wound, obviously. A lot of us have that anger, we lash out, you know, like even being defensive. You know, we're just human. We're human, and you know what? That defensive ego protected us.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because we weren't safe as kids. And a lot of times we didn't know any other way. A lot of times we didn't even have language because we were hurt so young, you know? So it's all about just letting go of these things that no longer serve us.
No longer serve us.
Yes.
That's true.
So to get back to your higher self is the start is just witnessing the things that you just don't want to do anymore.
And I'm starting to witness a lot of my fuckery. You know, like as much as I kind of get down, like I'm losing my higher self, it always reminds me, like, I'm still here, girl. Yeah. You know, I'm not going anywhere. You still got it in you. You just got to stop putting yourself down.
There. Yes, and don't put yourself down. Don't be like, damn, why'd you do that? Or, oh my God, you're so stupid. Like, why are you still being like that? This journey, please. Oh my God. It's lifelong, like I said, and it's like an onion. As soon as you be like, oh, I healed it. Guess what? It's another layer. Yes. And then it's something else. And then it's like, ooh, look over here. Look over here. What about this? And it's like, so you can't just be like, oh, I'm stagnant. Heal. It's like healing.
You keep healing no matter what.
Change the language to like from I'm healed to I'm healing. And it's okay. Like, you know, and it's just like, I have such an issue with that of like wanting to get there. Like as soon as I get here, everything will be okay. It's the impatience when really it's like life is about the journey. Like enjoy it.
Enjoying every step.
Yeah.
Like when you said failing forward, you still had a lot that you went through, but it was putting you to a bigger picture, a higher picture, you know?
Yes, and it's like I can only say that now, of course.
We don't see it while we're going through it, but it's a reason.
Yes.
You mentioned, girl, I got laid off yesterday.
Oh wow.
I got laid off, but my father has his own business, so I'm there now today. Like today,
it's so funny how that aligns.
Exactly. And so today, I was like, I woke up this morning because of the blood moon and the lunar eclipse. Yeah. So I woke up this morning and I did some meditation on it. That's what I thought, and I thought I would do like 5 times. I meditated for like 35 minutes straight. Beautiful. And it gave me clarity on the letter on what I needed to do regarding the old job. You know what I'm saying? So I had a thought, and I'm working on that now. But when you said it, it was like I knew it was time for me to leave that job anyway. But I was a little sad, but not really. I just felt like, I guess because it's the end. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's a bigger picture. Like there's a whole thing, and this is why I guess because now I've gotten closer to my spirituality, I feel a change is coming. Like I feel it, but I'm so impatient. So I had like a few weeks ago, had like a breakdown. Like I've been single for, well, besides the last guy, I was single for like about 7 years. You know what I mean? And I always kind of knew I was protected, being that I wasn't getting like any man. Like, you know, some of my friends, guys talk to them all the time. I would be the ones that would be spared. Like guys don't come and talk to me. And I felt some kind of way, like, what's wrong with me? I'm so dope and I'm beautiful and this. But I'm like, okay, it's because you're not supposed to be with just some regular guy. Like you have a divine masculine waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? Before I even knew what the hell the divine was. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to realize that now. Even still though, I'm 40 now and I still get kind of defensive, like, when is my time coming? You know, so I had a whole breakdown the other day. I called my friend. I yelled at the universe. I cursed it out and everything. Like,
right. Like
I was angry.
God, when?
And so it was like the next day I finally calmed down and did another little meditation. And I hate to say meditation because I still feel like I'm not doing it right. But it's when I just sat down and just shut up and just listen. You know what I mean? So that helped me get through that issue. But I do believe my time is coming now. And I realized my purpose is my voice is my power. You know what I mean? This is why I have my podcast. I've been doing radio for almost 20 years, you know, and this is why I'm here. And this is to share people's stories. And I used to tell people the reason why I'm here is to live my life so I can let people find their own happiness. And when I did the ayahuasca and yahe, that's what it was also telling me. I was always saying this for years, but I didn't know how to say it. It said it in a better way, of course, but it was basically saying, so it's like I always knew what it was that I'm here for. Like, it's like I know things already, but it's either my subconscious is not letting me process or it's hiding it or something. So it's like I know I have it in me, and you have it too. And this is why I wanted you on here, because I see your light and I see your spirit, you know what I mean? And you're amazing. So I wanted you to share your story and keep sharing it, girl. And you're going to school, or not school, but I guess school for spiritual healing and everything. So do you plan to be like a priestess and help other people heal and teach others as well?
Yes. Well, so I definitely plan to do healings and offer my services. Yes, I want to. I'm ready to leave my job. Yes, I'm ready. And offer my services to really heal. And I don't know about teaching energy healing yet, but I definitely want to teach in the way of like content. Like I definitely am ready to get out there with even like just showing people how to easily meditate and easily like change their life, and like daily things that they can do to like get grounded and like start the spiritual journey. And like, you know, like I think especially Black people and Black women, you know, it's just so easy for us to get to the end of our life and have poured out our entire selves for other people and have forgotten ourselves. Like I saw it with my mother. I really am doing this for my mom. Like I was with her in those final days, and the thing that I really just saw her is just, I felt like she was just drained of her life force. And the thing that she was so giving, you know, giving to her last drop. And I am that way too, but what I am not going to do is give to where I am giving so much that I'm taking away from myself. I'm going to give out of my overflow and not give where I'm just like, you understand
the drippity drop. You're not going to give the last bit of what you got to anybody else.
Exactly. And so I, in her name, am really going to give to myself first. I'm going to practice my spirituality every day. I'm going to fill my own cup. And then I'm going to give to others. I'm going to share my spiritual journey. I really want to heal people in our community. There's so much clearing that needs to be done of old stories. What I'm learning is that we can clear our trauma. We can clear our ancestral trauma. We can clear like these lineages. You know, we have a beautiful lineage. It's not all trauma, but there's a lot of trauma. What I just got back from Santa Cruz this weekend, and some of the shit that came out, my God, like there was so much trauma in my sacral chakra, which is where you hold like passion and sexuality and creativity and all that stuff. I mean, so much. If I can go there, like if you can look at me and tell my bloodline, there was a lot of ancestral rape. Wow. So I had to clear, and I'm not done. It's not just like one time, poof, done. I have to clear a lot of that unconsensual touch, unconsensual, you know, my mother was more light-skinned than me. She used to talk to me a lot about that, you know, about just all the ways that my matriarchal line was abused, you know, and the way we suffered. You know, Black women, we suffer in different ways. You know, colorism is so real in our community. We suffer in different ways. Like I see you and the way that you have suffered. And women of my color suffer in a different way. You know what I mean? And so it has to be, we have to clear this trauma in our community. We have to respect it. We have to acknowledge it and clear it.
Yep.
There's so much work that needs to be done. So I want to just be a voice. I want to talk about it. I want to share my story. I don't want to be ashamed about it.
Right.
I want to share my story so that others can be reflected in that. And then I want to show them how they can start clearing it. And so I'm building my website for this new LaurenLeBeaux lifestyle.
Yes.
Go to LaurenLeBeaux.com if you want to know more. It's Lauren, LeBeaux. And so I'll be doing events. I'm also a yoga teacher. That's the other thing. I did a trauma conscious yoga certification recently. So that is kind of bringing in like another way to think about yoga. Because I used to always think about exercise as like, I have to do this to lose weight. And it's like, girl, actually yoga in an indigenous way is more about spirituality. It's more about centering yourself and actually, getting back to like you said, listening to what spirit and your ancestors are having to say and moving your body with intention.
Right.
Yoga is a way to get back to your spirit. It's that same thing that I was saying about yoga. When you go into the poses, it's actually, you move your body into those poses so that you can ground into spirit and you can listen to what spirit is saying. So, and then also, so many of us have been traumatized. A lot of those poses, you get into them. Have you ever been to a yoga class, or I don't know if you do yoga? Sometimes you go into those poses, you start crying.
Wow.
Because your body is moving in ways that trauma comes up. And a lot of these yoga teachers aren't even equipped to deal with that when they have people in classes that have been through things. So I'm learning a lot.
That's good.
So I want to, I just want to share that with people.
Do you think that's your destiny or your purpose in life?
Yes. I'm totally excited because I've found my purpose. It's been a winding road, like I said. And I think where I started, which is being a lawyer, that's why I was fired. That's why nothing has felt right. That's why I've had so much failure in life. Because it's like, I've been trying to get to this purpose that I thought was connected to like, it has to look like this. It has to be connected to some money. Yes. It has to be, it has to be connected to like this white picket fence.
Yes.
I have to have this husband that looks like, no. It doesn't have to look like what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
It has to feel right to me. And so now that I'm finally there, it's like, thank God.
You made it.
So what I'm saying to you is like, yes, of course, your divine partner is on its way. And the work that you're doing now, you'll know because they're going to be reflecting the affirmations that you say to yourself. It's really a self-love journey.
Yeah. I agree with that. And it took me some time to get here. Like, I would walk around saying, yes, I love myself, but I really didn't. Now I can say, I'm working on my fan name, so that's the thing. But I love myself physically, spiritually, mentally. I'm still working on the little things, but it's still more love than I've ever had for myself.
Right. So
and I have it now. Going. And I'm going to keep going because it's like you said, it started when I was young. I was bullied for being the darkest girl. And I was always friends. I was never like the girlfriend type. I was always like the friend or the best friend for the guy. You know what I mean? I was always like that. And I was just like, so since I was young, when I was 14, I tried to kill myself because I was like, I'm never going to have a boyfriend and nobody wants me. I'm black, I'm ugly. And this is how I felt, In my 30s, I changed. I had a better mentality. It's like every decade, things get better. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to tell you, the 40s are amazing. I'm 43.
Oh, you look good, girl.
Thank you. The 40s are amazing. That's when I called in my divine partner. We just celebrated 1 year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And it was when I was feeling my absolute best and on my spiritual, after my COVID spiritual journey is when I called them in.
Wow.
So I'm just reflecting to you that this is your time, but it's when you are on that journey and you're doing your work and you're just like, and when you get to the point where I got to the point where when I heard spiritual songs or love songs, I was singing them to myself.
That's good.
That's when I called my partner in.
Wow.
When the love songs it wasn't even thinking about
nobody else
but myself. You get to that point, unstoppable.
I'm working on it.
Yes, girl. Yes, girl.
I'm definitely working on it.
Yes. You are.
It's gonna happen. I feel that's another thing. On ayahuasca, I had a conversation with this divine masculine. I believe we've met. Like, I know who this person is, but it's just lifing. Life is lifing right now. You know what I'm saying? But we had a conversation more than once, and not even when I was on ayahuasca. I've had other conversations, but it's always like when I'm on shrooms, and I'm trying to like get to my higher self without having to take other substances or shrooms or ayahuasca. But as of now, I mean, it's still good. It's natural. I'm still gonna do my shrooms. I'm still planning to do another ayahuasca retreat, but I would think I'm gonna facilitate it now.
Cool.
So I'm getting into this plant medicine, and the group that I work with, they're Latinos, and they want to help get it in the Black and brown community. You know what I'm saying? So even the facilitator's girlfriend, she works in the medical field, and she's doing studies about plant medicine and shrooms and stuff with mental illness. So they're working on stuff like that now. So they want to bring it forth to the communities that need it, because you know what I mean? Like, people want to self-medicate. Like me, I'm still working on it, but I was self-medicating, drinking alcohol every single day. And even after my retreats, I didn't drink for the time being when I had the retreats. Maybe I didn't drink for a month after. Then I slowly get back to drinking again. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm still trying to heal. And like, as you said, we're going to keep healing. So it's not something that's just going to stop all of a sudden because you're spiritual. You're going to keep healing and unpeeling back layers. You know what I mean? So I'm still a work in progress, you know, and we all are. So it's not like people think you're spiritual. No, it's not about going to church and Jesus. No, it's about your own inner spirituality, the God within you, the universe within you and around you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is why we're here, to spread the word. She knows her purpose. She's sharing with y'all, sharing with me, and I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming on to my show.
This was a wonderful conversation. Thank you.
This is what I try to do. Do you have anything else you want to promote, or anything you want to say?
I just was going to say, I have a YouTube video for you. I follow this guru called Muji.
Okay.
And for tapping into your higher self, your I am, without any sort of, shrooms or anything, I'm going to text it to you.
Send that to me. And also, one more thing. I hope I didn't delete it. I might have deleted it. When I did the ayahuasca retreat, the medicine man brought with him some oracle decks. He brought like 10 oracle decks, and I picked one from each one to show me like what is going to happen this weekend. So one of the cards I pulled, it was amazing, because one of the cards I pulled is actually one of the places I visited, but I didn't realize it till the next day. I mean, when I came home, I was like, wait a minute, I saw this, and this was the card. And that card, I deleted it. That card was from the Lemuria oracle deck, and it was
astral plane.
Yes. And so that's what it was telling me, and I'm thinking it's talking about going to different dimensions, and the multi-dimensions are all working at the same time. It's not just one. And I didn't understand what that card was telling me until Saturday, the second night when I went to multi-dimensions. And that told me, like, this is you. You're not just human. You're other things as well.
Yes.
And it just, merging with the divine, that's what it said.
Yeah.
It said merging with the divine, and it's a chakra up here. It's the soul star chakra. That's what it was, the soul star chakra. Yes.
So what I want to say, I think plant medicine is beautiful. And for Black people, yes. But what I would say is what we need to do first is make sure we are getting our foundation. Make sure our foundation is straight first before we go up. Yeah. Because a lot of people go up too quick, and if you are not grounded, you might go up and not be able to get back down. And if you see a lot of people that are on the street talking to themselves,
they're up there. Wow.
And weren't able to come back down.
That's a good point.
Just a little warning. So even like sometimes with your retreats and stuff that you plan to do, just make sure you're grounding. Even with like dance. Dance is a great grounding.
I love to dance, y'all.
That's it.
Yes, that's very good advice, and thank you for that, because I was, after that, when I came home, it hit me, and I actually was crying for most of the day because I was shocked at what I saw. I had to call my facilitator, and this is a woman, Evelyn. Oh, you guys will hit it off. She actually came on this season too. I called her because I was like, I'm so confused. I was like, am I really an outer being, like not human? And she helped me get grounded. And, you know, so I was lucky enough to have those people to talk to, because it was like, I was scared, I was excited, I was nervous. I'm like, wow, just like flabbergasted, you know what I mean? So I did have people to help me, and they taught me like what to do and what not to do when I come back home. You know what I'm saying? So, and even when I came back home the week after, I did shrooms, right? But the medicine was still in me. So when I took the shrooms, it was me and two of my good friends. We did it with intention. You know what I mean? Yes. We cooked, and it was like a whole therapy session. But before, I think I started because I was like in between realms. Like, we were playing music, but the music in one ear was sounding like wavy and slow, and the other ear sounded like the way it was supposed to sound. You know what I mean? And it just brought back all these emotions again. So we talked it out, you know, they helped me, but it was just weird. I was like, wow, that really did happen. It's a real thing. And it really changed my life just that one weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. And it just showed me my higher self, and I got to stop doubting myself. And I keep doubting myself. And then when I doubt myself, something happens that I already knew was going to happen. Like, bitch, see, I told you, you know what's going on. You know how to do it, you know?
Yes.
So it's still a learning thing. This is, like I said, I just started this journey this year. And that's it.
You got it.
We got this, girl. So thank you so much again. And we will see y'all soon. Peace. That was good.
That was fun. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Thank you for coming.
Yes. Okay.